Well, would you look at that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? Could you look at that? Bitcoin is almost at $87,000. And of course, coincidentally, around the time where, we did say that, the news for FOMC was going to be bullish, and I did expect things to start recovering. Now, here's the thing, this is why I love technical analysis, because, ladies and gentlemen, the details were already here a while ago, right? When you've watched my videos from even last week, I said how I believe this is going to be the start of the reversal. And it all started with these two candles, right? We had a double bottom close when it comes to candle closes, right? Take away the wick. Look at that. Perfect. Literally perfect. And we didn't get any type of detail like that anywhere else, right? Literally here. So you can see, even though we expected good news, and even though I predicted that, March most likely midway to the end of it will be a rejection candle, it will be rejection on the 3-month candle. We can see that we were already getting the details back on March 10th, right? We were going sideways, a little bit higher. And then even yesterday in the video I made, I said, we are going higher and higher, right? We are getting big, nice candle closes, and I do expect it to continue going up despite what the news is, right? Despite what the news is. Even when I go to something like the daily candle, we can see that yes, we are getting higher lows, and we had a beautiful candle close yesterday. And look at that, we just elevated. We just elevated. So really, really fantastic. I love to see that. And I'm just showing you this because, this is proof that technical analysis will always show you stuff earlier before the news comes out. Now, I do expect Bitcoin to continue rallying up, probably up to $92,000, right? And if we were to get something like that, ladies and gentlemen, the candle would look absolutely godlike in terms of the 3-month close, right? If somehow this candle, turned very, very thin, right? If the red part turned very thin or even green, this would be the most bullish thing out there, right? And the thing is, we're only roughly 11 days away, 11, 12 days away from having this 3-month candle close. So super, super exciting times. I really do genuinely believe that, the reversals are here and we won't be going to lower levels. I'd be really, really surprised if things drag out where we go up here, go like this, and then go lower, then consolidate, and then finally recover, right? That would be really, really annoying in a sense. It's not out of the possibility just yet because we have to see how everything closes this week, and we have to, keep up with things and to see how the 3-month candle closes. But it is most likely going to be a very, very nice bounce back, and April, May, June are going to pretty much be recoveries and pumps, right? Back up to at least $110,000. That is what I expect. I still expect for us to create a higher high, right? A higher high over here, or even higher, right? The last time we were consolidating for a while, we went from 67,000 all the way to 100 and roughly 10,000. So what? We went up 45,000. So even though things are shorter here and we still have some momentum from here, because believe it or not, um, trust me, we still have some momentum from here. I don't think we're gonna go up $45,000 from this point, or sorry, not from that point, but from this high. I don't think we'll get to 160K, but I would not be surprised if we get to the 130 to 140 range before we sell off. And if we do have a double top type scenario or a double pump this cycle, then maybe we could do something like this, or then go higher before we have a big, big crash. Hopefully that makes sense. Obviously we have to, manage and see how everything is going to be over the next little while. We will dive into some altcoins, ladies and gentlemen, right? If we go to Bitcoin dominance though, first, we can see, Bitcoin is going up, but the Bitcoin dominance is kind of chilling, right? Which means the whole market is getting flooded with money right now. Bitcoin went up 5%, it went up $4,000. Bitcoin dominance barely went up, right? If Bitcoin dominance shot up, just shot straight up, that means only Bitcoin would be pumping. But we can see, right? We can see XRP. XRP has fantastic news. CIP, right? Turbo, ladies and gentlemen, Turbo We talked about with Turbo, right? It's been looking more and more promising over the last few days, and now we can see we're slowly expanding. So really, really happy to see progress happen with Turbo. Pangolin too. Pangolin's in its own little island a little bit because um, of the lower market cap and stuff. But we can see it's also consolidating and it's looking to start recovering, its price. H bar, right? We talked about H bar. That was a fantastic time to be buying. XDC, right? We can see things that were going sideways. Now we expanded out. So really, really good time, right? Really, really good time to be buying. We're getting more and more confirmation. We even talked about the Fibonacci tool the other day, how, if we take it from the top to a relevant bottom, something like Ondo retraced 88%, and that, like, you don't need the most amount of confirmation. You just even logically think, hey, if this is the top and this is the last relevant bottom, hey, if something's down 88% and I still believe we're going to have a cycle, I still believe there's going to be altcoin season, I still believe in this token, this project, and the context makes sense because it's not like we're in a bear season yet. We just had a pullback. Then, prime buying opportunities, people, prime buying opportunities. And now we're getting more and more confirmation, right? We've been consolidating. We can see Ondo starting to break out as well. It's just a beautiful, beautiful story. If I go to something like cryptobubbles.net, right, we can see very, very nice green day. Pancake might be down a little bit. Not every coin literally pumps the same time. All right, we can see Tell doing very, very well. Render, Link, and other coins are doing fantastic. We can see for the month, obviously, coins are still down a fair amount, right? It will take probably a couple of weeks to recover, but this is what I was talking about, people, right? This is what I was talking about. When we go to something even like ICP, which is a prime example for a coin, all right, if I could just find it very quickly, there we go. I believe, you know, the context that we're in right now is something very, very similar to where we were at here with ICP, right? We had one top, two top, we had a bottom, the bottom got broken, boom, right? One top, two top, we have the bottom, bottom got broken, boom. But this time, right? This time, I feel like we're going to have another move, but it's going to be much more significant, right? Much, much more significant. And I believe we will be recovering for ICP, for Ondo, for XRP, Turbo, whatever it is, right? The next few months are going to be fantastic. And then altcoin season is when we're going to have those 4 to 6 weeks of insane gains before then we crash out and go into the bear season, right? So that is what I believe. I believe, 2014, yes, it's technically the start of the bull run. Oh, not 2014, 2024 was the start of the bull run, right? So money was flowing to the markets, but we never really had an actual altcoin season. And now there's going to be more money flowing to the markets. We're going to start recovering to previous levels. And then when altcoin season hits, we're going to start expanding super, super heavy from key levels, ladies and gentlemen, right? So that is pretty much that when it comes to the markets, right? We covered a couple of coins, just generally speaking. I will be making more specific, detailed videos for other coins. Like, we'll talk about Render, Kaspa, Turbo, ICP again. So make sure to stay tuned. Make sure to click subscribe. And yeah, that's pretty much it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys enjoy, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Goodbye.